Greetings, citizens, and thanks for tuning in to Nindie Nation episode 189. I'm Jeff, and after an insane August full of awesome new indie games, this week is more of a calm before the storm. Still a few noteworthy Nindies worth checking out, but make sure to subscribe so you don't miss what's bound to be yet another awesome month of indies. Leave us a comment so we know what games you're looking forward to, as well as if you think we missed anything in today's episode. And if you want to chat more about Nindies, stop by our Discord because I've also been known to pass out some spare game codes from time to time. Alright, we good? You good? I'm good. So let's do this thing. These are the 7 new notable Nindies hitting the Nintendo Switch through Sunday, September 10th. A couple years back, we played a game called Lo-Fi Ping Pong on stream, and that chill, bizarre little game really sunk its teeth into me something fierce. That's why I'm excited to see the next game by Calvarez released this week when Kovacs Pitch drops by way of Red Black Spade for $6.99. If you've played Rhythm Heaven, WarioWare, or hell, even Rock Band, the concept of pushing buttons to the beat while mixing inputs based on visual cues shouldn't be anything new to you, because that's exactly what's going on here. The music is a bit more indie rock this time around, which I personally consider a good thing, and it's got a, quote, wholesome story about this kid who wears a shirt that says, "No child!" So there's that. Anyone else looking forward to this one? I'm really excited to play it, and I'm definitely going to pick it up when it kicks off the week on Tuesday the 5th. Alright nerds, those of you with the mental fortitude to enjoy titles like The Witness, The Talos Principle, and other puzzle adventure games, or at least can play them without feeling like a complete idiot like me, listen up, because Chance of Sonar looks rad. The second release by French studio Rundisk after 2018's Varian, Chance of Sonar is built on the premise of linguistics, as you work your way through an enormous tower while solving all kinds of puzzles and playing mini-games and even completing some stealth levels. As you can see, the visuals are gorgeous, and the soundtrack is beautiful too, with the game's premise being heavily inspired by the myth of Babel, which sets you on a quest to unite people by connecting the dots between 5 languages you initially know nothing about. If you happen to be on the fence, there's a demo already available, so you don't have to take my word for it. And once you are sold, you can check it out via Focus Indies with a 10% launch discount for $17.99. Renegade Sector makes low-poly games based on retro arcade titles, and we've played quite a few of them on streams, laughing our way through the jank of titles like Breakneck City and Thunder Kid, because there's an inherent charm in these games that, despite said indie jank, can still be a lot of fun. On Wednesday the 6th, alongside East Asia Soft, they release Escape from Terror City for $9.99. And it's a gallery shooter with a mix of run and gun and bullet hell, similar to Wild Guns, but with Renegade's chonky low-poly flair. And frankly, I think it looks like a great time. And I wasn't sure if I was going to include the Dragoness, Command of the Flame, until I read the description and I thought,
what is HOM?
Oh, inspired by Heroes of Might and Magic? Guys, I used to love those old PC games. Now, with titles like The Brave Furries and Chuck the Metalhead in their repertoire, it can be hard to take a studio like Crazy Goat Games seriously. But this turn-based strategy RPG is loaded to the brim with stuff to do across its 30-hour campaign. You'll engage in battle, of course, but also secure resources, learn 6 different schools of magic, craft, loot, defend your camp, and there's even a bit of roguelite seasoning, should you perish. I don't know, I like what's going on here. It's $17.99, so I'll be watching for reviews before diving in, but a new strategy RPG is always welcome in my book, and this seems like it could be a good one. Meridium Games and Astro Lab Games have a portfolio that I would say is, well, it's kinda all over the place. I loved Fist, forged in Shadow Torch, and Coffee Talk was a pretty big success. Then they've got Catan, Train Simulator, all kinds of stuff. Oddly enough, you'd think with 40 plus games under their belt, they'd have a better description for such a bizarre game. But alas, here's what they gave us in its entirety for the Many Pieces of Mr. Koo.
The Many Pieces of Mr. Koo is a whimsical point-and-click adventure with a surrealist story, astounding hand-drawn animations, and hilarious puzzles.
Mr. Koo is trapped and broken into pieces, but most of all, he has no idea what's going on.
Is that a giant chicken over there?
So, in this point-and-click adventure that makes no sense, you play as a dude who is in pieces and also has no idea what's going on. Color me intrigued, though, because it does indeed look hilarious. Like our previous game, though, for $19.99, I'll be waiting for reviews before checking out this giant chicken.
What?
And then we've got a game that, given how hard it is to find a trailer for and seeing that it has no release date on Steam, I'm curious if it'll actually make it out this week. But the description for Whitestone is so interesting, I still at least want to touch on it. It seems to take place in modern times, but focuses around pirates at sea. Hailstorm Games states that it starts out as an investigation, but then turns into an RPG with inspiration from, get this, Corpse Party, Higurashi, Dead Space, Dark Souls, and then what I see when I look at it, the Persona series. The studio is based in Texas and released a moderately well-received horror game way back in 2014, but otherwise finding more information about the studio and Whitestone itself has been way too challenging. Hopefully now you're watching a trailer, but as I'm writing this, I couldn't find any, so I'm only able to say that it looks like one part Persona with combat that seems a little bit more action RPG-y. For $20 though, featuring 10 hours of gameplay with 30 different endings, the value seems to be there. I just need to see more before I can deliver some real impressions on it. And then we wrap up the week on Friday the 8th with a game that, if it delivers, should be a great title to take you into the weekend, as the wholesome, cozy world of Fae Farm launches for a whopping $59.99. It's developed by Phoenix Labs, who I didn't realize was the same team who made Dauntless, a free-to-play Monster Hunter-like that I was obsessed with way back when it released. Fae Farm is unique in quite a few ways, as it mixes Animal Crossing or Stardew Valley gameplay with entirely optional dungeon crawling combat. You know, like watching for attack patterns, using spells, that kind of stuff. The whole game is heavy on this magic system too, as magic makes what I would consider the boring parts of Animal Crossing move a bit quicker since it's not as focused on being realistic. Aesthetically, it's as if they built one of those cozy games inside of Roblox, and while it looks okay on PC, on the Switch, it just looks a little too Roblox. You can play solo or with up to 3 friends, and all of your actions create a shared experience, so playing online or with others is always helping everyone's progression equally, whether you're building a team to go dungeon crawling, or using spells that allow you to avoid combat at all costs. I think it's a cool twist on the genre, even though I rarely spend time with games like this. And as I mentioned before, it does launch at a full $60 price tag, and apparently has more waves of content coming all the way through next April. Which is kinda weird because it's like it's following a free-to-play model, but is a full-priced game. You know? If you're as hyped for this game, though, as I know a lot of people are, I would advise waiting for reviews, but just to make sure that the Switch version runs well and is feature complete. But otherwise, it's been a while since we've had a big budget, cozy, wholesome game here in the nation of Nindie, so if it pans out well, we could be looking at one of the bigger indie games of the year. A smaller week than usual, but there's still more than enough to go around. Are you all about Fae Farm, or are you gonna check out Whitestone? Chance of Sonar feels like my pick for the most intriguing of the week, but it's definitely Kovacs Pitch that I'm going to be picking up. What about you? Tell me down in the comments, and if we skipped over a game you're excited for, let us know. We'll be right back in the heat of things on episode 190 with Thunder Ray, a spiritual successor to Punch-Out!, Myth Force, the Saturday morning cartoon roguelike, and the highly anticipated Gunbrella. So make sure to stay tuned, because we're all done for today. As always, citizens, thanks so much for watching, liking, subscribing, and sharing Nindie Nation with others. Until next week, I'm Jeff. This has been Nindie Nation episode 189. And remember, no matter what type of game you're looking for, Nindie Nation will be right here to help you find just the thing to keep your Joy-Cons sync.